I'm not sure if I did that timer correctly. I think we're back. Yeah, we should be back. So we're getting into game 3 of Awers versus Bioice. It's tied up 1-1. And the reason I guess I'm not sure about the time is because of this damn drink. But we're going to Odyssey for this third game. Let's see how it goes.
She found my stash.
Maynard says, you like the nuttier taste when you're working that pole, Rifkin? And I'm drinking that creamy, creamy sauce. Yeah, buddy. Wait a minute. Where's your stash? I just see her being cute. Actually, yo, your keyboard looks super pretty with the lights like that. I'm not sure.
Keep it basic. Ah! Ruined!
Rip. I love just seeing. My favorite thing about you and your cats, actually, when they're being a nuisance on your keyboard, is they will go off screen, so I can't see them on the camera, and you'll just like pick them up and grab them and bring them onto the screen, like it's some sort of magic trick, like you're pulling a cat out of nowhere, like it's like suddenly a cat appears. Here we go, and I set her down and she disappears, and then oh, what's that? Another cat? Like, just keep bringing her back.
If that was my superpower, I'd be fine.
To pull cats out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, what would be weirder? Pulling cats out of nowhere or pulling cats out of everywhere?
What's the difference?
Like, I feel like nowhere means like the cat, like, I don't know, kind of materializes out of thin air as you pull it out, like, into existence.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's so cute. I can't. Oh, little mouth. Okay, we're getting into game. Give her the fry. Give her the fry. You're not going to eat that fry anymore. Don't pretend like you are. You monster.
I'm not going to give you the whole thing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting... Did you bite your own finger?
A little bit.
We're getting into game number 3. Things are tied up 1-1, and you definitely have 2 confident human adults guiding you through the cast. I promise. Don't believe otherwise. Spawning here. Oh, I just realized, why is the Streamlabs thing not working? I'll fix that in a moment, guys. I'm sorry. Spawning here in the bottom right, we have the yellow Terran player, Awers.
In the top left is the pink Zerg. He is Bioice.
Now, it's very important to note 2 things about this. One is that this is still the winner's bracket, so whoever goes through this fights Masa in the grand finals. Secondly, Awers plays mech. Let's just make that straight up. Not a lot of players do this, and not a lot of players do it well. So I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's why game 2 between these guys took like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was expecting. So, I don't know what that really means. We don't know if that was a win or a loss for Bioice or Awers, whatever.
Well, I mean, there's clearly a loss at some point. It's 1-1.
Shut up. The point is, we don't know, what circumstances, and if it was just maybe Bioice tried to end the game early, like he thought he could be able to, but then Awers just barely held on, and surprise, when Mech holds on as a very good army later on, or something along those lines, we wouldn't know. But Bioice, player that it's been around for a long time, just never really reaching the upper echelons. Yeah?
He killed us at Red Bull.
With Jake?
Yeah.
Really? That was them?
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember who his partner was. I just remember it was No Regret. Okay, that's, well, then I hate him.
Yes.
It was such bullshit. Like, oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna complain for a second.
Overlord drops. Let it go,
okay,
Zombie Grub. Let it go.
No, I have to explain this. So we wouldn't have gotten much farther anyways, and they probably could have beat us in a macro game too, because obviously they're pros and we're not. But we were pretty good at Archon mode. We knew what was abusive, and our powers combined, we were like an okay team. What we didn't know was that Red Bull was happening like a couple of days after a new patch where they introduced overlords that could be turned into drop overlords without anything, just like instantly.
And it's common now, but this was like the very first iteration of it ever happening.
Exactly. So we knew about it, and we were like even discussed like, well, what if they do it? They probably will. Or what do we do about it? But we didn't know what to do about it. So like we tried some Hellion things, but like only 2 Hellions pop out by the time they have the Lings in your base, and it was just basically we weren't used to dealing with. So it was really like 2 very like just clumsy, not fun games. But we actually were like usually a pretty good Archon.
Well, okay. I was also super tilted because the computer they gave me kept having this screen blackout.
Oh yeah.
Which was like, I get like everyone makes their excuses when they're losing, but I like legitimately couldn't see to do anything, and it really upset me because I was so excited to have my first chance playing StarCraft for like competitively.
We played so buttery smooth, just like everyone else that we played. We actually won money. This was like the round of 8 match, and I thought we would at least put up a good fight, but we just weren't able to with those combined.
We were pros for a day, and then Bioice killed the dreams. If you guys wonder why don't Riff get his younger ladder, it's because of Bioice and no regret. 2.5 years later.
And then we try and build the trust again with at least no regret. You know, he's being in the house.
And then he streams.
Chai. And then he stream snipes.
Not even just snipes. Stream cheats because he leaves it on during the game and replies to us in the game. Him and Scarlet. I'm realizing now, maybe Bioice was a totally normal, upstanding citizen, and then no regret just ruined him like he did with Scarlet.
There's a common denominator here.
Oh, no regret. All the regrets. Like Marge Simpson's levels of disapproval. Homie.
Okay, well.
This is actually handled surprisingly well by ours. He pulls the SCV, so he doesn't lose much. The Hellions get some really nice shots off, of course, and that sends Bioice packing.
It's going to be maybe a Hellbent attack. Ours has been getting a relatively early armory just for +1, not necessarily for a Hellbent attack. I say that because he has been up against aggressive Zerg players, so did he mean to do a Hellbent attack? We wouldn't know, because they would have to defend against Ling and Baneling busts, you know? So they might be his plan, it might not be, just regular mech. Of course, Bioice at game number 3 against this guy knows probably exactly what he's going to do. I haven't seen too much ingenuity with ours mech play. It does seem to be kind of like a standard, you know, macro focused mech play with Hellions your main defense.
Ooh, that was a really nice pull. Sorry, I wasn't looking while this went on, but I guess a Widowmine positioned itself in a really creative spot up here and down here, and this yielded about 6 worker kills. This really caught Bioice off guard, because I guess he was so convinced ours was going to be on the defense and only the defense. And let's not forget, if he transfers drones back, he's got these Hellions ready to do some damage too. I just went over how it doesn't seem to be too different of builds here from ours. There's the Widowmines traveling forward. Was enough to catch Bioice off guard. Yeah, and of course it is extra factories coming down, not barracks. So confirming the mech play. Kulian hits us up with that 32-month resub to say, I dip my chips in ketchup. Ace Ks? Can we get some Ace Ks in the chat, guys?
Potato chips?
Yo, did you see how I eat salad?
You don't eat salad. Don't lie to me.
Oh, did you not see this video?
I saw it. Of course I saw it.
I've been enjoying triggering people with ketchup memes. I never thought it would be a thing. But
I really thought about doing it as well today. And so I little story. Maybe it'll trigger chat and you. So I had my fries and I had some nuggets. It was supposed to be actually orange chicken. It was supposed to be orange chicken. So I had a nice little plate, and of course I put a lot of ketchup on for my fries, and I thought about making a video. But what really makes my video stand out is that I was gonna put mayonnaise in the ketchup and swirl it together to make pink sauce. And the orange chicken was not chicken at all. It was vegan chicken. I feel like I could have gotten a lot of triggers on Twitter with that one. But I was too lazy.
You guys couldn't see it, but while Zambra was telling the story, she like did this finger point to the sky like, aha! So it's not chicken at all. It was fake chicken.
It's better with the motions.
I will say though, was it Misspite, Nathanius, Panic Switch, and Juggernaut Jason. If you do make any ketchup memes, you have to tag those 4 people, and of course me.
Okay. I don't know if I could fit all that in the one tweet, but.
The best one I had though is I tweeted a picture of curry I made the other night, and I was shaking up a bottle of ketchup. I'm like, you know what this could use? Nothing. It's delicious. And Nate was like, oh, torture porn. This is unfair. These Hellions get really bold diving on the creep, but he does take out a lot of the tumors. This is actually really nice for ours, because of course he's fast enough to get away.
Yeah. Bioice, by the way, going straight up to that hive. Of course, making and upgrading roaches as his
Oh.
primary defense measure, but going into
Well.
Hydralisk and Vipers.
Right, and this is going to be cool. I don't know that we're going to even see something like Lurkers, but the thing is, I like that this is a different tech path than what we saw earlier. Terrence flubbing against, Zerg flubbing against Awers, not knowing what to do. No regret trying to mute us. I mean, it worked back in the day. It clearly isn't so hot now. Blue Flame finishes up here soon, too, so there could be a lot of damage to these run-bys. And Hellion Control, I got to say, like 10 out of 10 for me, because normally we see a lot of players just sacrifice these Hellions, grab a couple of extra kills with them, and then they're just gone. But he's actually pulled them back several times and keeps them alive and keeps using them over and over, and now we have a medevac drop full of them heading towards one of these bases.
Yeah. I like the amount of aggression that Ours is putting on. Anything at all. And then saving the Hellions as well is quite nice. Just keeping tabs on his opponent while having a decent macro game. Thank you to Vigilante 1024 for the 33-month resub.
As well
Who'd you
as
shoot at night?
Rudner.
Vafner.
Europe Vaft Rudner. Thank you for the 3 years of
Put-
base trade.
Put this on
Get
50% speed. That'd be glorious.
Yes. Yes, it would. Well, Lings didn't stand a chance against the tank fire. The Blue Flame Hellions sneak into the main, though, mostly undetected. I'm surprised about this, too. No pull out of Bioice, just lets his drones die, and this is going to cost him 9+ drones.
Nicely done. Bioice has at no point been super comfortable for a long period of time on something like 4 bases, 80 drones, because of these Hellions. 9 drones here, 10 drones there. They'd rely on his 4th base. I mean, he's still good. He has 4 bases and 70 drones, but these hiccups have actually been worth it. Whereas sometimes you watch like Hellions kill 20 drones, you're like, that must have been massive. But then they were on 80 drones for 7 minutes, so like, what does it really matter? Ours is already on a 4th base and planetary.
People might get a big deal about the pink sauce, but, you know, that's basically creep. Creep, oh my god, when you realize creep is just ketchup and mayonnaise.
Pink sauce.
That's why the Zerg, that's why
I
everyone
mean,
else, they want to get rid of it. They gotta clear it up. It's so gross.
Creep is more gray, right?
No, according to Annie, it's quite... but no, actually, I didn't even know about the combination of mixing mayonnaise and ketchup until you had done that, and I was like, that wasn't too bad. Oh, you know what would probably be good?
What?
That McChicken sauce I got that's basically mayonnaise. Mix that with some ketchup. Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. People hear mayonnaise and they kind of freak out, I think, in general. Which I can understand, you know? Because if you see something that has mayonnaise in it, there's always that suspicion that they put so much mayonnaise in it. And mayonnaise by itself is not great.
When you get like Subway levels of mayonnaise, it's too much. I love Subway, but I always have to tell them to stop. I'm like, a little bit of light mayo. And they'll just like squeeze that bottle with a death grip. I'm like, no, stop, it's good. I'll spread the rest myself.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
All right,
one place I would actually just say only on half, because I'd just take it out and like spread the rest after.
That's a good idea. Just get like packets, like ideal.
So these Hellion run-bys aren't being so hot right now, no pun intended. But what's nice to know, if you guys don't, Spinecrawlers are not the ultimate defense against Hellions. In fact, Hellions just rush in, churn into Hellbats while getting hit by the Spinecrawlers, and they still win those fights. But yo, Thor's transform and knock the Vipers out of the sky, or at least they're going to try to with that range. Blanche Fortress is going to hold. Nope, it falls, but not before Bioice loses all of his army for it. Or should have. I think ours should have committed to that. That was a big army to let live.
Yeah, maybe he should have. You know, with all the Vipers gone, or most of them, only one lived, barely. Maybe that should have been the choice. But, you know, ours not too upset about losing a planetary. He already has extra command centers on the way, and is obviously trying to transition to the best late game possible.
Is it
Is
it Broodlords?
Ours is trying to transition to Broodlords? Yeah, you're right, because they're the best unit ever.
Shit.
Shut up, Lincoln.
You shut up, zombie grub.
You are drunk. How long did it take, guys? Where's the bets?
Shut up.
No, you.
Recalibrated explosives is a cool upgrade. Without looking at it, can you tell us what it does?
Makes the secret missiles last longer.
And
And all the turrets?
no, it's
Damn it.
It's 30% more damage on the Secret Missile, dog, which is a pretty key factor here.
Do you think I use Secret Missiles? Do you think I ever use Secret Missiles? You should try the times I've tried to go Mass Raven. I played a micro tourney recently. When we didn't cast on Friday, and they literally gave me like a TVT air versus air situation. I was like, well, I'm just gonna die. Like I can tell you guys right now.
I really wish.
And like I just failed so hard.
I actually really wish your response to that question would have been like with another question, like what does Stimpack do, Rifkin? Like
Yeah,
that's a good fucking question, Zombie Girl.
What's a third base, Rifkin?
Oh, that's not fair because I do play a lot of bases. They're just all planetaries.
They just take forever to get out there, apparently.
Yeah.
Read BCQD in.
Shh! Don't toddle know my weaknesses. So there's actually two really important factors going on here, right? The Raven silliness aside, my drunkenness aside, I know mech play, guys, and what's happening here, I think it's going to be incredibly important due to patch, and that's the fact that Bioice has no melee upgrades. Thors are going to have level 2 armor plus 2 base armor, so that's like, what, 4 armor total? Broodlings are actually not going to hurt these Thors at all. No. Of course, surrounded like this, the roaches will annihilate them, but the Thor actually has the same range when it's in its single target mode like this as Broodlords do. And of course it deals bonus damage to specifically Broodlords. 60 damage a shot, to be precise. So Broodlords in the past were the ultimate like FU units. Oh, why would you give away all these Vipers? What just happened there?
That was a super big misclick.
That was a massively expensive
God.
misclick. But my point here remains that this is not an army that's dependent on Vikings and Ravens. I mean, it's obviously a big part of it. I think Thors are going to wreck the Broodlords.
Right. I mean, Broodlords are kind of a funny, like literally funny, like ha-ha funny unit for the Zerg. Like, the only time they're ever good is when the opponent is not prepared at all. Like, no Stalkers, no Carriers, no Raven, no Bite, like nothing, alright? Like, and otherwise, even if you have a lot of them, they're not very good. Some people try and make so many that it's basically an all-in, like 20 Broodlords, no Corruptors, try and kill the Ground Army, remax on Ground Army. And even that doesn't work. So, yeah, they're not so great. And the Thors are going to be especially good against them. I mean, Bioice is trying a lot here to get damage done, and he is.
Well, I think
ours bank low.
I think he was actually very specifically trying to free up supply and just get cost efficiency with it, which I think he certainly did. Like, that's a nice mission accomplished as he continues to pump out more Corruptors and more Broodlords. But this is where the game gets really fickle. So, we got Blue Flame Hellbats, which will wash off the Broodlings from the Thors. Those Broodlings, though, are really, like, no jokes, no exaggerations. Those are not going to hurt these Thors. Base damage 4. Broodlings are going to be hitting for like 5 damage total, so it's like 1 damage a shot. It's not going to be an issue. And then, like, if there's roaches and hydras behind, I actually, you know, for this reason alone, I think it would have been better to keep those roaches and hydras alive. I don't know. We'll find out as the fight commences. The other big part about this is point defense drones are going to be a key factor. Secret missiles, okay, maybe you won't be able to outrun them so easily, but with Vipers abducting everything in, point defense drones will make sure things don't die. Actually, I'm more worried about the tank friendly fire on the Thors than anything else here.
Yeah, that is certainly a power of Broodlings. Trying to tug a fire on those Corrupt, or the Vipers rather, but a little bit late to it, and they do get out of range.
Bombs.
Not as good as Secret Missiles.
So it's worth noting Thors not only deal bonus damage. Oh, that was a nice Secret Missile to all the armored units in the sky. It also includes the Vipers. But these Secret Missiles might not be too numerous, but are still being a big pain.
Yeah, they certainly are.
Oh, the Thors aren't all transformed either. Oh, I don't know about this. This will be interesting. A lot of Secret Missiles locking on right now. Broodlord's going to take some of the damage. Thors get some shots in too. Oh, those Corruptors got hit hard.
How did that reach?
Because of the upgrade, Zombie Grub.
Well, apparently. The Broodlords would go down if he was focus firing with all of them transformed. So they've taken a while, though, even the low numbers. But they are going down.
I thought Broodlings did 5 damage. Sorry, they do 4 damage. They actually do, like, no damage to Thors. It's hilarious. The Vikings push through this, too. This should have been such an easy fight with a combination of parasitic bombs and Corruptor spam. Parasitic bombs now coming into play, but Awers is actually pushing through this, and with +3 weapons, he's annihilating everything he comes in contact with, because this game is going to have these Thors punching for 65 damage a shot to the air, and of course, a lot for the ground too.
I'm not sure what Bioice does. He's used up what was a pretty big bank in remaxing on Corruptors, but that didn't really work.
He's got ranged weapon upgrades. Swarmhouse would not be a bad idea. Not a lot of them even, just a few.
Yeah, going back to the Swarm Hosts, you know, whenever we see them pop out, they're pretty effective, as effective as people think they are. But then we just saw 2 Zergs not go for them.
despite the Avilo memes out there, right? There's actually not that many high-ranking mech players that play on North America. So there's actually a good chance Bioice doesn't quite know how to handle it, because European Terrans play mech all the time, and they get super triggered by Swarm Hosts. It's such like an easy counter, and it might just simply be Bioice doesn't have to play that, so he doesn't know to play that. I don't know, but this air composition is not going to cut it if he wants to keep investing in it. Meanwhile, tanks and Hellbats hit the north side of the map. I don't know why I've been zoomed out for so long. Drinking. Don't drink and drive, guys.
I mean, it was fine. It's pretty large-scale battles. I really find it to see a mech run by. It's never usually really good, but it is taking care of that base, and yeah, it might just be a
look at the Thor's health. It doesn't give a fuck.
Doesn't care. Yeah, but yeah, the Swarm Host might just be late to the server.
Oh no, you don't! Oh, he's flying into the Corruptors! Scumbag Steves!
Nah, none of this matters anymore. Ours is maxed out. Bioice is struggling to get above 130. These Corruptors, then we're gonna even last hurrah, and they're gonna get secret missiled or they're stored, either one.
He's gonna die.
God, no.
Nope, that's it.
Buddy.
Say goodnight. Well, this is really cool. Top right, of course, got a little bit cleaned up, but Hatchery still stands, and that's what matters most. However, it might not matter at all in the grand scheme of things, because as you said, he's struggling to get any supply. And Broodlords, Vipers, like, I feel like Bioice did not have a bad composition coming into this in most cases, but in this new patch world where mech players are scarce and few, to fight against a good mech player coming from Europe who is using Thors to their fullest potential, I'm not surprised to see this going the way it is.
Nah, me either. Nah. Bioice, I liked his mid-game plan. He kind of like got a lot of bases, got a lot of drones. He was losing some though to those Hellion run bys, which again I commend to Awers on, but he was playing what it looked to be an okay game, and then it was the standard mech game where the mech player defended any push that came towards them, managed to get to a certain supply, and then from there had a safe transition to Ravens. There's no point where I really thought Ours was gonna die before he got a lot of Ravens.
I mean,
and then you get to that point, you're like, what do you do?
It's so silly because this part of the composition, this huge clump, this majority of Ours army is really important to the game, but I feel like it was these guys that won it.
Yeah. The Thors are definitely that extra element. I mean, I don't play Zerg too often, but even in ZvT, like if you think you have air control and Thors come out, it's no longer as easy as it was in like Wings of Liberty.
He keeps diving in for parasitic bombs too, which is a problem. Abducts, I think, would have been better in 100% of these fights.
Yeah, that's true. At least it would have been something, taking out those Thors one at a time. But he didn't really have a ground army for the last like 2 Remaxes, right? It was just a couple of Thors and a lot of Corruptors. We also never saw any Fungals. As clumped up as the Vikings and the Ravens were, no Fungals.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, well, folks, we're going to be hopping into the winners finals now. It's Masa versus Ours, and I'm really curious to see if Ours will continue to play mech in a TVT or if he swaps it up. Certainly is going to be an interesting matchup one way or the other. We're going to go to commercial break, excuse me.
Wait. I got to do something. So, Olsen, I think, donated to me to get my shot going. So the last bit of alcohol that I prepared, so probably done after this. Cheers.
Wow. I didn't realize you came with sippy cups tonight.
Yeah. Oh,
boy. Now we're going to go to commercial break. Thank you guys for watching. Sit tight, and we'll see you soon with the TVT finals.